Hello, welcome back to another podcast, another talk. This week we had two interesting characters come and visit us. Where I teach Taekwondo, the school have hired two new teachers. They're both from the Philippines, and they've been here for about 4 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, something like that. And of course they're from the Philippines, they can't speak the language here. They're going to be signing a contract for teaching in the school. So they will be teaching English for the Thai students. Anyway, so I contacted them and I said, just come have lunch with us. We can talk and get to know you guys because we go to the same school, and we can show you guys around. So that's what we did. So one of the teachers, she mentioned to me that she was actually interested in going to teach in New Zealand. She had 3 options. One was Spain, Thailand and New Zealand. And I think most people know that New Zealand have got a teacher shortage. Don't know if that's true or not, but that's what people always say, or what I hear from the media. Anyway, so New Zealand's got a teacher shortage. She's applying to be a teacher in New Zealand, either one of those three countries, and still waiting to hear back from the reply in New Zealand. Anyway, so we had lunch together, had a bit of pizza and some fried chicken wings, and we started talking about their plans being here in Thailand. What their contract is, and just getting to know each other pretty much. So she found out that I was in New Zealand for a long time. So I just told her what it was like in New Zealand. I think I've scared her away from that country, to be quite honest. I mean, there are good sides to New Zealand and there are bad sides to New Zealand, and I just want to share that with you now. Like I said before in my previous video, New Zealand is not a bad place, but it has changed quite a bit when I was growing up, when I was working. It's changed quite a bit. And people say it's been changing and not for the good. Anyway, so I just told her, New Zealand it's a nice place, but just be wary of these things that you might pick up. One of them is racism. So it's not, it never used to be a big deal before, but I think when the COVID time hits, then people started blaming the Chinese for it. I'm not Chinese, I look nothing like Chinese. So people started blaming Asian culture and Chinese people with it. So that has sparked the racism back up. So I was on Facebook and I wrote a comment about a topic that was on News Hub. Didn't think anything about it, Sometimes you write comments and you get 200 likes. The last comment that I wrote was something about the LGBTQ, saying that that's not a girl, that's a man. And that's not hate speech, that's just a fact. That was the comment. I got over 1,000 likes. So obviously people want people to speak up about that kind of issue. Anyway, and then I wrote a comment, something about motorbikes. I said, there was a comment about a topic about e-bikes, like they're changing it to be electronic bike, and I just said, I like the sound of a motorbike that is powered by petrol. I like the feeling of those loud sound, and I just said, I like petrol motorbikes. Won't change to any electronic motorbikes. And I got about 250 likes. So I just comment things here and there. Anyway, so I made this comment about a couple of weeks ago. There was a story about prisoners, so New Zealand prisoners getting mistreated, I think. I think what they were doing was they were locking up the prisoners for a bit too long without getting them to go out and exercise or whatever, okay? So it wasn't a rude comment, it wasn't a racist comment. I'll just show you what I said. So this is what I said. I said they did bad things to people, now bad things will happen to them. This is how it will always work. So yeah, I wrote down these prisoners do bad things to people, and surprise, surprise, some bad things will happen to them. There's no difference to people doing good things, and good things will happen. So that's what I wrote down on that. So I got a few likes, and someone must have looked at it, didn't like the comment, make up a fake account, and then message me privately, and just went into it, So starts off like this: why do you think you need to post your opinion on a country that you don't even live in? I've been living in New Zealand for over 30 years, so I can comment on that. So yeah, and then it goes on to the racist stuff, you know. So he called me a piece of Asian crap. I told him that I lived in there, but then he says, "Oh, don't come back." He says, "Stay in your shitty country." Just normal Asian slur, you know. He blames me for the state of New Zealand, saying that this country, New Zealand, has turned shit because of fucktards that don't even live here. I don't know what that means, probably something to me. Then it goes into COVID, of course. COVID is a new one, you know, and then you get called a gook as well. And just lots of racial slur. Now, I wasn't being rude to this person. I was actually in the middle of a meeting. I was taking class, and I just said to him, just calm down, I'll get back to you when I finish my meeting, and we'll talk properly like adults. So that's what I said, you know, just calm down, I'll get back to you, and that kind of thing. Anyway, he goes on to threaten to hunt my family, hang me, torture me. This was just a couple of days ago. Yeah, so racism is truly alive and well in New Zealand, isn't it? I'm not saying that all these people are like that. This person was Maori. I have so much Maori friends. I got more Maori friends than white friends than Asian friends. I go hunting with them. We do hangis together. We're tight. We're good buddies. Know them for over 10 years. So I've got nothing against Maori. It's just only when you start being racist to me like that, then I'll start using the Maori slang back to you. Like I said, I'm not against Maori or anything, but just to you. Just to that person, you know. Like I said, I wasn't being rude, but if you say go back to my own country, I'll probably tell you to go back to prison. I'll probably call you the N-word. I'm not new to racism. I grew up with racism my whole life, and I know how to deal with it. And I actually enjoy it. I enjoy the argument, because at the end, I'm gonna win. You know, you might be like, Asian, you smelly Asian and all this kind of thing, but seriously, if it wasn't for us, you'll be hungry, because we own all the shops. We all own most of the takeaways, and Indians own most of the Pizza Hut joints now, and Domino's, all the shops, you know. Yeah, so, and the Chinese own most of the takeaways, and the Cambodian owns most of the bakeries. So, and the Asian population, you know, you'll always have a smart Asian in the school. It's just the culture that we put everything towards the kids, you know. kids come first in the Asian culture. Anyway, I'm not going to brag on about how great my culture is, but I was going to say something else. Anyway, so I told this teacher that was considering New Zealand to go work. I said, yeah, it's okay, you know, but there are some things that have changed, there are some things that haven't changed. One thing that I said was there's a lot of crimes that's happening at the moment. I don't know if crime is on the rise, but I'll just share you a link, which is this. That this has just only been happening for less than 2 days. You know, you've got 5 ram raids, 5 robberies in one night. You've got she was planning to teach in Rotorua, by the way, and then you've got this and that, you know, happening. And I felt guilty of telling her that, but I didn't want her to be like, how come nobody told me this, you know, just in case something did happen. But just to prove that it's not, just to prove how common it is, I'll just, yeah, to prove how common it is, my wife, friend, she owns a Thai restaurant in Victoria Street in Hamilton, and you know, they have their normal nights, they do takeaways, they do dine-in, okay, and once they finish the food, kind of like a fish and chips thing, you know, you finish your food, you put it on the table, you call out the number, call out the name, and the person comes and get it. So this restaurant finished the food, put it on the table, and then these young couples come in, and what they do is one is looking at the menu, the other one's looking around, and then what one lady did was she opened the bag and then just took the bag and went. Obviously that bag didn't belong to her, she just decided to steal it. And then walk out the shop, and then the shopkeeper had to go out and chase after them, and luckily they got the food back and there was no big drama. But that's what I mean. It's like it's getting so common for crimes to happen, and you might say, oh, that's a pity, that's nothing, that's just a normal crime, you know, nothing, it's just like stealing a bag of chips from the dairy, you know. But it's the culture of doing crime. You know, so I told her about what is happening with the ram raids. I tell her that it's a weekly thing. Okay, every week there'll be a ram raid, whether it's in Christchurch, Auckland, Hamilton, Rotorua. It'll happen every week. And the thing is, it's never going to stop. It will never stop. I guarantee you, it will never stop unless the shop just closed down. But it'll still keep on happening. It'll still keep on going. So I told her that, you know, these youth, most of them are youth, they go steal 2 cars. So yeah, that's the bad thing, you know, is that you focus on the ram raids, story about the ram raids, but you don't focus on the story about the car getting stolen. Okay, let's interview a person that just got their car stolen. How did it affect them? Oh, they might have to take some money out of their saving to buy a new car. Insurance might have not paid out. They might not even have any insurance. They might have missed work for a couple of days trying to sort out the car. So that doesn't get talked about in the media. We just talk about the ram raids, you know, but we don't talk about that side of stealing 2 cars, one to drive into and one is to get away, and then both cars are dumped, all for just some cigarette, beers and some chocolate. And then people say, oh, these communities are struggling with the cost of living when they're stealing cigarettes, beers and chocolate, vapes. So it doesn't make sense. But the reason why it's not going to stop with these ram raid is that there's no consequences. You know, there's no there's no actions, there's no plan. I know that the government said they were doing this program, okay, where they give these offenders a hug. It's not their fault. We'll give them a hug and we'll talk to the family and work with the family and we'll pour money towards them. And that's just encouragement to do some more ram raids, to be quite honest. It's so appealing that I want my kids to go and steal a car and ram raid a shop, like if they're going to get away with it, you know. And most of them do get away with it. They get caught and they do it again. And there's no punishment for them. You know, all the other countries, there's punishment for them, you know. There's ways to not punish, punish them, but there's consequences. And New Zealand just doesn't have consequences. And the reason why it will never change is that it's like this. I can do this with any example. You can do it with money, you can do it with relationship. So let's just say we're doing it with relationship. So let's just say I'm a young single male and I want to find the one. Not some kind of, you know, one night stand, but the one to settle down, get married to and whatever. So the outcome is trying to get the one, you know, the one that you love and whatever. And so if I keep doing the same thing, the same habit, and I get the same result, I won't get what I wanted. Okay, so if I'm the kind of person that just say, for example, this isn't true or anything, say I'm a violent person, I'm angry all the time, I drink a lot, I party a lot, I smoke, I'm in bad shape. So if I just carry on with all those bad habits, I'm going to get the same result. No woman's going to be attracted to me, the relationship's going to be poor, you know, all those kind of things. And then once I start changing myself, you know, okay, I'm going to be in a better health, I'm going to have more money, I'm going to look after myself, then I find there's more attraction coming towards that person, you know, that is making an effort. So if you want ram raid to stop, there's got to be something, there's got to be a change that has to happen, okay? And I can give you suggestions on what I think, but you know, I'm not here to argue with anybody and people say, oh, I disagree with you, I agree with you, I disagree with you. I agree with you, but all I'm saying that there's got to be some changes to the system for youth, okay? To youth and to the parents of the youth. You can't tell me that your kid's gone missing at 1 o'clock in the morning and be like, oh, where's my kids? Oh, they're probably just out with a friend having a cup of tea, you know. I mean, so there's got to be punishment for, there's got to be consequences for the parents, you know, there's got to be consequences for the child as well, because at the end of the day they're all children's, you know. That's why there's no punishment for them. So until that happens, nothing's going to change. This weekend be another ram raid, not another one, another maybe 5 or 10 ram raids. Some of them won't even get any airtime, you know, some of them won't even get any media cover. But yeah, something has got to change. But we had the Filipino teacher over, we had lunch. I talked to her about just some of the things, you know, just the high cost of living. You know, I try not to scare her away too much. I just try to be honest and just tell her really what's going on, you know. Because to her, she told me that, oh, New Zealand is one of the safest country in the world. It's one of the most peaceful, it's good this, good that, you know. And I just told her, yeah, that used to be, and things are just changing a little bit. If you do decide to go to New Zealand, just be wary of some of these things, okay? But after I mentioned about crime, ram raids, and, you know, racism, she kind of backed away a little bit. Wasn't too interested in New Zealand anymore. And that was just me, you know, that was just from my personal experience, from my wife's friend's personal experience. These things happen, you know. and unfortunately it happens, but we can't really do too much about it. Now, one thing I have learned is that whatever happens, you can't really control it. Like I said, I can suggest ways to stop ram raids, I can suggest ways to stop crime, but there's no point. Nothing's going to happen. The only thing that you can do as an individual is actually be in control. So if you were in a neighborhood and it's just getting robbed all the time, have an option of moving away from that neighborhood, or have an option of moving out. Have an option of making a community watch, or someone, or even making a funding or fundraising to have cameras set up. So yeah, so you've got options to, you've got choice to do things, but you can't control what's being done, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that. I know some people will comment on this topic, and like I said, racism, nothing new to me. I haven't been affected by all those comments which happened 2 days ago. I was interested in replying him and actually talking to him like a man-to-man kind of thing, because I've done that in the past, and I've actually made someone that absolutely hate my guts, know nothing about me, to actually joking together, like we're laughing at each other's joke. So I am that kind of person, teaching martial arts, studying martial arts, studying combat, studying the human psychology, behavior. I actually got good at actually calming people down. So yeah, I was interested to actually talk to that bloke, but of course he just deleted his fake profile before I even had the chance to even get into it. But yeah, no biggie. I have a tough skin, but yeah, I've got I may have a few Asian friends that have experienced that kind of racism before, and just say that, yeah, nothing new. These people are just cowards. They don't want to open up their mind and stuff. But yeah, anyway, I hope you liked this video. I hope it wasn't too long. Yeah, catch you on my next podcast, I guess. I'll be heading back to New Zealand on the 25th of May. A couple of people have invited me hunting. Haven't killed anything for a long time. I might feel guilty of shooting something now. So yeah, I'll be back in New Zealand for 2 weeks. Maybe do a bit of fishing, hunting, relax, meet up with some old friends, and then probably sort out a few things like getting my license renewed for my international driving's license, and then I'm picking up my parents. Then we're going to go travel around in Thailand and do some holiday stuff. Yeah, okay, thanks, bye.